Right, now I'm going to make some internal lines that I can use for an elastic thread, so I create a little cuff. First I'm going to show you how you could work with the particle distance to get a better result in the simulation. So first I'm saying offset as internal line, and I would like there to be 1, and I would like it to be 5 centimeters away from my hem. So here it is. Then with my edit pattern tool, I right click and say cut and sew. And why I do this is because when I want to lower the particle distance, I don't want to lower it in the whole garment or not the whole sleeve even, because it does slow down how you work in the program when it's more information. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I click on the pattern piece here and I scroll down, I can see the simulation properties here, and that the particle distance is 20. This is a default, and I'm going to show you what it means here. If I click on mesh, you can easily see that the particle distance is a particle here, and then you have a distance to the next particle. This is the amount of information you have in order to make a naturalistic render. So, but per default, it's 20 in Clo 3D, because then you can move fast, you can sketch, you can bring your ideas to life, and then once you want to either render or you want to simulate it in between to get a good result, you are lower it. So now I'm going to lower it here till 5, and immediately you can see the difference here of the distance, how big it is. This is the 20, down here it's the distance 5. So now this part of here, this piece of fabric is jam-packed with information, which makes it render much more nicely and simulate more nicely. So, but I'm going to go back to fabric for now. And then I'm going to use my edit pattern tool again, and then I'm going to say offset as internal lines, and I'm going to have it on 0.5, and I want to offset it 9 times. Okay. Now these internal lines can be used for elastic, and actually it pops up immediately here as well, elastic. So I can just tick this one here and say, yes, I want it to be elastic. I can play with strength and I can play with ratio, and I found that for this cuff here it works well with 58. So nothing will happen till it's simulated. So I'll do that now by pressing this space bar. Now we'll get a nice cuff like that. Good. I'm going to turn my simulation off again, and now I have seen it looks nice like that. It worked well, and I got to show you as well what the particle distance is and how it could be used. So now here I'm activating with my transform pattern tool again. I'm going to change it back to 20 like that. And now that they have the same particle distances again, I could keep it. If I wanted to have 2 different ones, I could just keep the sewing. But if I don't want the sewing, I'll have to change the particle distance so it goes back to the other one, and to the one it was before, so it matches the top one. And then I can click, I can activate. I'll just show you a bit further away so you can see these two now. Click on these two, the outlines, pattern outlines for these two. I right click and a merge. So now it's back to being as if it was just one piece of fabric. Good. So those were the sleeves. I'm now going to do the same. That is, I am actually not going to cut it off here again. I'm just going to show how to make the offset again and the elastic. So offset as internal line. and I want 9 again, and with a distance of 5, so it's fine. And I'm going to click the elastic, and then I'm going to go with the ratio of 70. I don't want it to scrunch up too much around the hip, so I'm just only going with 70 here. And now I just need to do the back as well. So right click, offset as internal line, and yes to that. And again, elastic and 70. And just as before, we need to simulate. And this looks like a fine elastic. You could make it tighter if you wanted, but the tighter it goes, the further up it will travel up a lower back. Okay, that was it for elastic.